Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you doing today? I hope you're having a great day so far. So I'm reacting to another blog and it's a new blog. It was just posted on the 21st, which I think is today. Is today the 21st? It was posted today. So I'm going to read that and I'm also going to make an announcement for him because I think most of us knew it was already coming. You are new here, welcome. This is Journey to Find Kay and I'm Kay. I like to talk about mental health. I like to react to The Rewired Soul because I'm a mental health patient, worker, and advocate. And I want to use my voice, opinion, experience to negate some of the negative things that Chris puts out on his platform. So if you like my content, don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button down below. Hit the bell so that way you're also notified every time I post a video. So yeah, guys. Y'all aren't shocked. Y'all aren't shocked. Y'all aren't shocked. Y'all are not going to be shocked about what comes out of my mouth right now. Like, y'all are going to just be like,
okay, we told you. Like, I don't understand why you're so shocked.
I legit thought it would be longer. The signs were there. The signs were there. So if you're probably like, hey, just say it. The Rewired Soul is coming back. He is coming back. He announced he's coming back via Instagram. I had been posted. I've been looking, okay? I've been trying to make sure. I've been like, let me check his Twitter. Let me check his Instagram. And today I just forgot about the Instagram this morning. And he just so happened to have posted his I'm coming back. Throw it on the screen for y'all to look at as well. He says, woo-wee, taking a social media break was the best decision I've made in a while. Spent time with his girl and his son, and he read 3 books. I also had time to reset and remember why I do what I do. I'm here to create a community of people tired of being miserable, know they're capable of living a better life. Sorry, guys. I know that I'm nowhere close to where I want to be, but as long as we're there for each other, we can get where we want to be together. 2020 is our year, and we're going to make it our bitch. And I have some cool stuff planned for all of us. No, this right here. This is what he wanted right here. Lastly, I can't thank you all enough for the kind comments, DMs, and emails. I was in a dark place, felt extremely alone, but you all remind
Me that I'm never alone. You all help me just as much as I help you. We can't do this without one another, and I appreciate all of you. We all deserve better than where we're at right now. Let's all take action to live the lives that we deserve.
That was motivational. But yeah, so he's coming back. Like, I legit thought maybe we would get, like, we wouldn't hear anything for like a good 2 weeks. I thought maybe January, like we would get an official January post because you know how everybody does like that new year, new me kind of thing. No. He's gonna be back sooner than we thought. So
that's fun.
Then on top of that, he decided to post a blog. He posted the blog today. Ready for this? Y'all know y'all gonna read this with me. Let's just see what this blog's about. Like, I'm so mad. Like, I really thought we had a moment. I thought we would have a good 2 weeks. Didn't even last, what, 4 days? Okay. And I'm gonna keep an eye out on this medium.com. I didn't know about it. You guys kept telling me and I was just like, okay, and just kept like bloop over my head. So I would keep an eye out for this because I see that he posts his blogs here a little bit more frequently than he does on his actual website. Yeah, he just posted this today. It's a 6-minute read. Let's see what he has to say. Let's see here. You don't have to be ready to get better by The Rewired Soul. There's this common myth out there. In order to get better and do something to turn your life around, you have to be ready. This isn't true, and it's a lie that our mind tells us to make excuses so we continue torturing ourselves and live in suffering. If we wait to be ready, we'll never be ready. We'll continue suffering, which in turn is going to cause suffering for the people in our lives. The only thing we need to get better is the smallest desire to get better. I am so tired of that word already. And you're ready, but you don't realize it. I just finished watching a YouTube video of a guy who was actually one of my inspirations to start my YouTube channel. When I found him, he had just relapsed after a year or 2 sober. Here we are 2 years later, and he's had some more sobriety, but also more relapses. He recently said he was finally thinking about rehab and had disappeared for a while, so I figured that's what he did. Well, that's not what happened. He came back explaining how he didn't go to rehab, but he wanted to take a break from his channel until he had 30 days sober. That didn't happen either, but he wanted to give an update. During his explanation of why he didn't go, he gave an analogy of picking between 2 restaurant options. But when you flip the coin, it lands on the one you didn't really want to go to. That's an awesome analogy, but we're talking about life and death and not food options. He loves analogies. He discussed how he just realized he's not ready to go, and that breaks my heart. Following his journey the last couple of years, I'm worried he's going to die if he keeps waiting to be ready. My experience of working with addicts, I've seen this happen over and over again. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. But I'm also a believer of when a person is ready, they'll know. So hard because that's something where it's like a lot of things I believe a person is never really truly ready for, like kids. Like I know a lot of times people will say they plan, but sometimes the unexpected can happen. Also think that, like, just from my own experience of working in treatment centers, if you're ready, that's when they're ready and they'll be more successful. You know, I think it's actually pretty good insight for this person to be able to say, I'm not ready, I'm not going to waste a bed. I think either option, someone trying to get assistance, is great, but I also can point out the wins of, hey, he had insight to know that he would have just been wasting a space that someone who might have been ready at that time and ready to go, this was their all the way rock bottom, you know, he had that insight. So that is something to also point out as well. For you, it may not be an addiction you're struggling with. Maybe it's your crippling anxiety or overwhelming depression. You might be someone struggling with an eating disorder, or maybe you can't stop self-harming. You know you don't want to live this anyway, but you haven't taken the steps to get better because it's hard. It's not something you can just be like, yeah, put your mind to it, you can do it, even though you're not ready. Like, it comes out later on when someone feels forced or if someone isn't prepared to handle something. Sometimes that can be even more traumatizing. So I can relate. In a couple of days, I'll have 7.5 years clean and sober from drugs and alcohol. That's awesome. When I got sober, I was miserable, hopeless, and suicidal. I wasn't ready to get better. Death seemed like a better option than trying to get well. I wanted to continue drinking myself stupid and snorting lines of prescription opioids until the life left my body. Luckily, I was forced to get sober, and it was because I was given an ultimatum, get better or be homeless. I can't stress enough how important it is for people in our lives to quit putting up with our bull crap. Boundaries are important. They are. I wasn't ready to move into a sober living home. I wasn't ready to start going to 12-step meetings and have people giving me hugs. I wasn't ready to get a sponsor, especially wasn't ready to start working on looking at all the effed up things about myself so I could begin the healing process. But I did it. That's a continuing process. I don't know if y'all know, but self-reflection is something that is needed continuously. We need to continue to do and have moral inventories of ourselves. Just saying. But I did it. There were a couple of primary reasons why I did it, even though I wasn't ready. One of them was because I saw other people doing it and their lives were a hell of a lot better than mine. I had to start looking at other people and realizing how much better their life was compared to mine because clearly they knew something I didn't. I knew I wanted a better life, but I didn't want to go through the steps it took to get there. The biggest lessons I've learned in my life is that turning your life around involves things you need to do and not the things you want to do. Sorry, but that's not how life works, and we need to quit being babies about it. I get sometimes we have things that we need to do, but I hate that mentality too. I have moments where I just don't like that pick yourself up by the bootstraps, like get it going, because again, let's not exclude people. Like there's some people who can't pick themselves up by the bootstraps because maybe they do have a debilitating disability or anything like that. Like, boy, how do we even have the audacity to think that that's how life should work? Think about that for a second. It takes some balls to even have the thought my life should be better and I shouldn't have to do anything I don't want to do to achieve it. That's like us wanting to magically drop 20 pounds without having to eat better or go to the gym. Who the F do we think we are? Okay. The other primary reason I started getting better, even though I wasn't ready, was that I realized how selfish I was being. It wasn't just about me and what I wanted. My parents were worried I was going to die. My friends lost me to my addiction and wanted me to live and get better. Most of all, I had a 3-year-old son relying on me to get better and to live. It doesn't matter that I wasn't ready. I had people who needed me. And not to be grandiose about the whole thing, but I eventually realized that I might be able to help other people like you by overcoming my demons, and it'd be selfish of me not to go through the mental gauntlet of getting better than I am when I have so much to offer others. Not to be grandiose or anything. okay. Just take the first step. No matter what you're struggling with, when you're looking at the big picture of all the things you'll have to do to get better, it's overwhelming. It's easy to think about all the steps you have to take and simply say F that. We do this because it's easier to stay exactly where we are rather than putting some work in. That is, yeah. A lot of times complacency plays a big part. But is our ongoing suffering really worth being lazy and not putting in the work? For me, it started with staying sober. When I thought about staying sober forever, that was crazy. That was as crazy as saying that I could fly to the moon. But then I learned that I didn't need to stay sober forever. I just needed to stay sober for a day. That was manageable. When we're ready, do you see how I can hear his voice? Oh my God. Yeah. When we're not ready, it's often because we're overwhelmed, so we need to break it down one day at a time. Start asking yourself what we can do today to get better. That's it. Don't worry about tomorrow, just worry about today. I wish it was that easy. You believe like breaking it down into small steps is something that can be applied to a lot of things. That's what I use in weight loss. That's what I use with my own mental health, taking it one day at a time, try to make better choices. Also think that we can't just try to apply that to everybody. That doesn't work for everyone. Say, hey, make it small things, it'll make it all the way easier. No. Is it something that can work? Yes, but it's not something that everybody can do. Again, it's that kind of pick yourself up by the bootstraps when that can't be applied to every situation. My opinion. It bums me out that we're living in such a touchy world today that people get offended by everything, and it's terrible in the mental health community because all it does is fill people with excuses. And there it is. Like, we were doing so good. Like, it was a decent blog.
Why?
I don't get it. Like, you could just leave this whole part out. It's a disservice to anyone who wants to get better for people to think that it's offensive. See how I just said, oh my goodness, to tell someone struggling that they need to just do it, that they just need to do it. Like, that's so funny. Oh my gosh. I just said that. I just said it can be offensive because it doesn't apply to everybody. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Why is he talking to me? That just was such a decent blog post. Like, yes, there's stuff like I was saying, but oh my God. Well, the reason a lot of us say that is because it really is that simple. Our brain makes up a million reasons why we can't get out of bed in the morning or take a shower or reach out and ask for help. We overcomplicate everything with our crazy ass brains. Okay. The reality is that we need to keep it simple and just take that first step. Once we take that first step, our mind realizes that it's possible, and then it opens up to a whole new world of possibilities. Okay, I know, like, now this might just be my own little bipolar mind, but that kind of sounds like a dig. Our brain makes up millions of reasons why we can't get out of bed in the morning, take a shower. No, that's called depression. And I know that's not everybody. I know not everyone suffers from depression. Whatever your diagnosis is, that might not apply to you. But I know for me personally, it's not just like a, hey, I'm just overcomplicating it. It's coming back full force. So today, what are you going to do? Maybe you're going to call a friend and ask for help, or just simply have a conversation so you don't feel so alone. Those are good little coping skills right there. Maybe you're going to get off your ass to take a walk around the block to get your blood flowing, and maybe some endorphins while you're at it. I swear to God, this is just his way of digging again at depression. His whole antidepressant thing, like, I can't, like... Y'all let me know down in the comments if you get what I'm saying. Or am I tripping? Am I like taking it a little bit too seriously? But it just feels like we're kind of like, hey, depression, let's forget about that real quick. Please let me know in the comments, you guys. Let me know in the comments. What, like, oh my God. I go to one of the dozens of 12 steps meetings that are in your town. Or maybe you'll actually research finding a therapist who can give you some tools to get you out of your rut. I know you can do it even if you're not ready. I know you're capable of a lot more than you are. than you think you are. I know this because I've been there too, and I've never thought I'd be where I am today, but here I am. If I waited to be ready, I'd probably already be dead. So get off your ass and make something happen for yourself today because you deserve it. He does that so good, you guys. I'm sorry. Like, he can sandwich some decent, semi-decent motivational speaking into his writing, but then, like, let's take a dig at the mental health community. Like, this is you coming back. Like, I really thought maybe we would get some reflection. Maybe, he was going to do something different. And like, it really felt good for a second. Yeah, there was a little moment where it felt like he's being really like, I don't care if you're not ready. Even though you're not ready, you can do it. Like, okay, that can fit many different things, but that's not the case for everything and not for everybody. A lot of times you aren't going to take things seriously until you are truly ready. Sometimes people have to have something bad happen for that before that even happens. Wasn't ready to lose weight until a girl was getting nerve tingling and passing out randomly in the park. Like, I had things that scared me to become ready. Just sitting here telling someone,
Just because you're not ready, go out and do it. You can do it.
like, that might work for some people, but it doesn't work for everybody. A YouTube example with that guy, having worked in the, substance abuse treatment centers as well, to seeing where I've seen clients who've been ready and clients who haven't, and stating like, hey, if you have that insight to know that you weren't ready for sobriety, if you weren't ready and you knew maybe you were truly thinking of other people out there you wanting to take that bet and take it more seriously than you would, I can applaud that type of insight, because I've seen it too, where I've had clients leave the treatment center and they're like, you know what, I'm just taking up a bed. Because centers I worked at, yes, one was for 90 days, but then the other one, those clients were there for almost a year, maybe 2 years, depending on where they could get placement afterwards. For them to sit there and say, hey, I'm just going to be taking up, I'm not taking this seriously, like I'm going to dip, we'll always respect that, because guess what? This is their journey. Maybe there's other factors that we need to keep in mind. Maybe there's other things that could stop a person. A lot of times people do have to be ready. They might have to hit that rock bottom. It just depends. It's dependent on the person. To take your dig at the mental health community because you think we're just filling people with excuses because we're being inclusive and understanding of everyone, to understand that not everyone can just get up and go out and take a walk, because maybe there are different levels of depression. Maybe people have different symptoms of depression, just maybe medically, physically, they're unable to get up and take a walk to get the endorphins going. Getting upset because I'm like, yo, you've been gone for 4 days. Is your way of coming back is by making a dig at the mental health community, who's actually just the only people trying to help you and by giving you constructive criticism to say, hey, if you kind of do this a little different, we'll leave you the heck alone. But no, you decide that you're going to sit here and make a blog post and dig at us saying we're trying to fill people up with excuses, and kind of correlate it to, well, you know how many people I've seen die because they weren't ready. They used that as an excuse. Plenty of people who have gone to rehab who weren't ready and left and still passed away because guess what? They weren't ready to be sober. Like, you can't sit here and try to force someone to be ready. Like, we're not sitting here enabling anybody, because we can understand that. I've seen too many times where clients getting forced into treatment because their family wanted them to do it, or because of outside motivations. Like, I get it worked for him that he had outside motivations to get better, to be cool, to get sober, but that doesn't work for everybody. I will always tell my clients, when it comes to weight loss, when it comes to addiction, when it comes to your mental health, if you want to fix it, you'll fix it. I can't force you. I have clients who have literally looked at me like, well, you haven't helped me lose weight. I said, how? What have you done yourself? Have you gone for a walk? Have you done this? Have you done that? Anything to, make sure you're putting some work in, because I can't lose the weight for you. It's the same thing. You can't always expect people to think that outside motivation is going to work, because outside motivation is very fleeting. I'm going to be real with you guys. I know there's been times where I've been down to where you people be like, well, what about your kids? Guess what? There's been times where in my depression, I thought my kids would have been better off without me. So like this whole just getting up and doing this and they can help motivate you. Let me calm down. And it's just that thing of it's terrible in the mental health community because we're just filling people with excuses. No, we're being cognizant that people feel things differently. People process things differently. We're individual. Like I said, your whole YouTube example of your guy sitting there saying because he wasn't ready, it broke your heart. That is something to be heartbroken because it's like everybody is going to want someone to become sober and to fight their addiction and to become healthy from their addiction. Also going to let him know, hey, that is good insight to know that you aren't ready. Because again, we all know that we have a crisis in this country and people are stingy when it comes to mental health and getting people the help that they need, that he didn't sit there and go into a treatment center and take up a bed and come on now. Like, and this is his blog post. He's back, you guys. He ain't gonna change nothing. He's not gonna change nothing. You guys are right. I really did have like a smither of hope. Like, no, I did have someone tell me like, semi-obsessed and like I could do something different with my channel. I'm, better than this. But you know what? I really, 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 really take this stuff seriously as someone who is speaking from my own experience as both, like I said, a patient and a worker. I can't sit here and let this man have people think that because we're trying to empathize and be inclusive and actually have people understand like, hey, not everything he says is going to fit everybody. There are other options out there. I'm going to call him out, and this is what I want to do. Gone for 4 days, literally you're back. You got the love you wanted. I feel like, yes, he did this for manipulation now. You got the love that you wanted. You write a blog post. You're like jabbing at the mental health community. You're sitting here telling people it's offensive because you say people just need to do it. I've given too many examples of where that does not fit all the time. There are people out there with really bad depression who can't just get up and walk away. Now, if this is the type of stuff that applies to you, then it applies to you. I was good at sandwiching in some pretty decent information, but like we're not enabling, we're not filling people up with excuses. No, we're letting people know like, hey, that doesn't always work. That's okay if it doesn't always work. You don't have to feel bad about the fact that you couldn't get up to take a shower. And being ready, just because you can't force someone to do something even if they're not ready, just because you were able to be motivated by outside motivation, your children, your family and stuff like that, that's cool. But that don't work for everyone. I'm just going to speak from my own experience to where in my own head, if I'm in my depressed episode, that don't matter. That doesn't matter and that's not going to work. You could push me the whole other way saying something like that. And that's why I'm here. Like, I might be obsessed. I might be able to do something else with my channel, but I'm not going to, because I want people to understand and hear my voice and say, hey, if that works for you, that works for you, but that doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes it don't work that way. Sometimes you do need to be ready. You need to make sure it's inside your heart that you can do it. His points about making little steps, that is cool. I agree with that. You can make little steps. That's things that I apply to my own personal life. Steps does work for me. But again, I didn't implement those things until I was ready. And for me to even lose weight, I had to almost pass out have like a seizure in the park. Like, that's why I make my videos, you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think. How did you feel? Do you think I'm going a little too deep? Do you think he really did diss us and diss the mental health community and try to say we're filling people up with excuses? Do you think he's jabbing at depression, or do you think I'm just going too deep? Kay, calm it down. Let me know in the comments. I want to hear from you guys. He's back, so obviously I'll be reacting. Do I think he's going to post this week? Probably not, because it's Christmas. I don't know if he's going to really post anything because of Christmas or New Year's. Maybe we'll be lucky enough to not get a video until January. That would be cool. But you guys let me know what's your thoughts and feelings down in the comments. If you made it this far and haven't subscribed, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell so you're notified every time I post a video. Hit me up on Twitter. I'm usually on there talking, having some convos. Love to see you guys over there as well. I will catch you guys in my next video. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye.